What's up guys, this is Todd. Today I'm going to be recording a video for XMG for the YouTube channel, I believe, and we're going to be taking a look at a game between Lilbo and Marine Lord, two French players. One of them just recently joined XMG and his opponent Marine Lord playing for Team Millennium. It's Protoss versus Terran on Frost, which was played in a tournament. So let me change scene, there we go. And we're going to be focusing mostly on Lilbo's view here, so that we can see exactly what he chooses to do and why. Of course, I believe I'm more of a Protoss specialist than Terran, and I always feel like it's a very interesting way to look at a game. So this will definitely be more for Protoss players out there to take a look at, to try and learn from. So I'm gonna go in ×2 at the start of the game, because nothing too special happens. The gate has been thrown down at 13, and we're not really going to look at the production tab. We're really focused on the view of Lilbo here. Standard gas on 15, and looks like he was thinking about maybe taking a second gas here from some time, but in the end just going to throw down that second pylon instead, which means he's just going to go most likely for a one gate expand no matter what. Anyway, with quick double gas or not. So second gas after the 76 core means it's gonna have a decent gas income, but not super gas heavy, like if you would want to go for a very quick Stargate or Twilight. In this case, a lot of the time you can do 2+2, but now you see he wanted to have 16 on minerals, so he did 3+1, and then now he put the rally point of his Nexus onto that gas. So he's still gonna have a whole lot of gas to work with. And now you have to think, if you're the Terran and you see what that Terran just saw, double gas, 3+3, a Stalker first, another unit being made here, you have to be worried about some kind of Blink Stalker play. So this might be what Lilbo is either trying to sell or going for. And it's a good thing to exercise and train to think what your opponent might be thinking. If you think a lot about it and you learn to get it right, then it's going to be a good thing for you. So now double Stalker, Mothership Core was made, and then a Stargate follows this up. So the double Stalker I really like, because on this map too, like most maps, there is a lot of space for Reapers to get in. But now if the Reaper gets in, it's gonna get shot at least twice before it gets somewhere, which means it cannot really escape. Like it could go up there, get shot twice, and then barely escape maybe, but that's like the best case scenario for the Terran. And you want to punish that Reaper for possibly scouting. So behind this, another gateway, possibly one more, I see. Okay, one Forge, which when you open Stargate is a must to have that Forge, because going Stargate then Robo is not very good. We've seen pretty much every good Protoss player opening like this. So in the meantime, the Mothership Core saw the double barracks here. At this point, with Steam Pack being researched, you can know there is no factory a lot of the time. There is no starport, no Banshee on the way, so you're safe as far as detection goes for the time being. And the first Oracle was started. The Reaper is gonna get in there. Actually, the Stalker was not in the greatest position. Should be able to get that Reaper anyway. Okay, now you're in the situation where you know that your opponent knows if you're the Protoss player. So that's Oracle is still gonna go forward, but you have to be super careful, because there's gonna be turrets, marines, possibly Widow Mines in position, and a quick Twilight goes down behind this, as well as the ground armor level 1, which I like. This is still very, very standard. So actually the Oracle's staying into place for some time. Double gas being taken on the expansion at about the time it's fully saturated on minerals. I mean optimal saturation. And now I don't think it would be good to get a second Oracle, especially since it's been spotted, or to even get any Phoenixes. But getting Phoenixes will still be a little bit viable, possibly. And now you see he goes around. He knows there is very little possibility for Widow Mines to be ready here, because he saw the two barracks, and now he even spotted the factory. So tried to get a kill, didn't manage to get one, but at least got Marine Lord confined in his main. And what this is going to achieve, what you can anticipate, is that the Terran is going to have to make turrets in his main and expansion. So right now, even though you don't see them, you should know that they're going to go up and they're going to be there, because your opponent has to get them. So in the meantime, very quick charge started. Templar Archives as well, and a lot of extra gateways are going down now. When you're on 2 bases, especially if you don't have a Robo, you need to go up to 8 gateways in general. So we'll see how many he chooses to go for in total. Right now we have 7, and there we go, 8. In the meantime, pro-production very, very important. Chrono boosting charge as well. you can always guess that Terran is going to go for a mid-game timing with Medivacs. It's going to start dropping, it's going to start being annoying. And this Striker is actually finally doing some damage. Not expect that was going to be possible, but getting few SCVs here and there. Marine spots the exact timing on those Medivacs, which is always nice too. And very important not to get supply block behind this. Storm is going to be started very, very quickly as well. And with all those 8 gateways, Lilbo is going to be able to basically produce Zealots and Templars only from now. Try and reach Storm and then possibly work on the third base. Since he's made 19 and 19 probes, he could still go for some kind of timing, but I think regardless of if you go for a timing or not with Storm, you can always take the third base as well, because you're always going to have the money for it. Especially with this many probes. There is no way you can spend all this continuously. Maybe if you could boost your gates, but a lot of the time the Terran will barely hold, whereas if you can do a very similar timing than you would if you commit everything to it, do some damage and take a third base to secure the game behind it or extend your lead. I'm surprised this Oracle has done this much damage, by the way. Marine Lord was definitely getting ready for it, but some nice movements by Lilbo going all the way around every single time, so it's even gonna escape. And with the +2 on the way and the Storm finishing just now, Lilbo is now in a great position. He made these Templars quickly, he has 2 Storms ready. Let's look, the Terran is about to hit his timing with Medivacs. There is Storm ready, double Templar. What does he do? He scans, he sees it, he has to go back now. He cannot take the risk. So behind this, Lilbo is going to play it safe, throw down the Robo, which again is pretty good. And now getting additional Templars. You should always leave a few units in your main ready to defend. So here we have 1 Templar and 1 Zealot. In case Medivacs line, they will get feedbacked and more Zealots will be warped in. And let's just say that Terran units landing into charge lots and no, the Medivacs not having the energy to heal them, it wouldn't be a good scenario for Marine Lord, so he cannot really do that. He's trying to pressure that third base right now, and as a Protoss here, you really lack vision. You don't have anything to scout, but you can anticipate your opponent. He's basically, he's taking a third base. He's not committing to an attack, because you already have Storm. It wouldn't work a lot of the time, especially if you're able to spot it. So later on, your focus is going to be on trying to see if that's the case or not, by getting an observer quite quickly. So he goes for the +1 ground weapons actually, instead of the +3 ground armor, which both are okay. We've seen MC actually when playing this Tyler Shistian getting the level 3 ground armor and doing very, very well with it. So that's, I would say, personal preference really comes down to that. You see that Templar, he's got 3 feedbacks available. Now Zealots are going to be put in position, a cannon as well, so Lilbo is anticipating his opponent wanting to be aggressive here later on, and he's really getting ready for it. And that's definitely what you need to do against good Terrans. The meantime, starting to proxy pylons a little bit everywhere. That's not only going to give him vision in case units go through there, it can also warp in units across the map, send them to harass his opponent's base, so that's going to be important. That observer as well. Spotting the army at this point, very, very important, knowing where your opponent is at all times. And now he spots the ghosts, which is the correct response by the Terran to play against this kind of Templar opener. So he's the first reflex when you see this, you should spread out your Templars quite a lot. Make sure they cannot all get EMP'd. Don't group them even, you see? Like here actually he grouped most of them in his group 1, but he's not moving his army on purpose because he knows that's the case. And yeah, just make sure they are well spread out like this so that your opponent cannot push too easily into you, EMP, and then win from there. And look, actually attack with a nice arc here. That ghost here did not have the energy for any more EMP, so Marine Lord is going to get chased down. This is a timing before the Terran has too many ghosts, and Lilbo handled the attack and then was going to go for a counter attack, but then he realized maybe it's not the best that he can do right now, so he's going to wait a little bit at the middle watchtower for the moment. And you see in the meantime he's getting Colossus, which against ghosts you're going to need, getting the second Robo as well. One very good thing you can do is you get the Robo, then you make the Robo Bay, and at the same time you make the Robo facilities, and they will finish at the same time, and then you can start double Colossus production. And see, he's already anticipating everything. He knows that basically Colossus are going to be a counter to the Ghost, and what will counter the Colossus? The Vikings. So he gets Blink at the same time, so that he can start getting a bunch of Stalkers to help and defend his Colossus. And that's going to be very important too. So some EMP went down here. Actually, those window mines being a little bit annoying here. And Lilbo is going to be pulling back for now. Blink's about to finish. Definitely going to be helping. More cannons here. And that's Lone Guardian over here, making sure the main base is safe. As Lilbo gets Colossus, a lot of the time the Terran at this time is not going to be ready, because even though most Terrans they can anticipate you're going to be getting Colossus, they are not going to have Vikings yet, or they are not going to have the critical mass that they need to help and fight the Colossus. So when you have 2 or 3 Colossus, you're going to be really strong, but then the more you wait, the less strong you're going to be. So you need to keep that in mind a lot and possibly hit some timings or things like that. At this point, double Colossus production. Thermal Lance is on the way. And Lilbo is just in a decent position. He hasn't won yet. You see the supply is still very even. And Marilord is really trying to press the issue here. He does not want to go into the later part, the later stages of this game. So he's going to keep on going forward. Lilbo knows that. Throwing down one time warp here, trying to scare his opponent into not attacking. And now, with the 2 more Colossus, he might go for it. But they are not out yet. Lilbo has to be careful. If he gets in there too early, like when a Terran is like this in front of your base, if you attack too quickly, he's just going to spread out EMP and Steam Pack and just split well enough to make sure your units are not getting a good engagement, and then you're going to get crushed from there. You don't have to attack the Terran. You want the Terran to attack into you ideally. But in this case, as I said, Lilbo, he's going to have a timing with a few Colossus when there is no Vikings to hit. And I think he's looking to hit just that now. So he goes forward. And you see the Terran is always looking to get in a good position. Every time you're going to attack like this, they're never going to just stand there, Steam Pack. If you play a good Terran, he will always try to get a good concave and a good arc and have you attack. And you see, this is a really bad position for Protoss to engage into, because the Terran not only had vision, he had prepared a huge split, basically, or a huge arc with his army from here to here. And that's very, very hard to attack into. That's why Lilbo pulled back. At this point, Lilbo is just starting to have too many Colossus. He's almost maxed out. You see, he's going to have 5 in a second. And at this point, I think he can just attack with 5 and do really, really well, because we have no Vikings, I believe, on the map. I see 4 in the production tab, but look at the Terran army. Where are the Vikings? They are not here. The Terran is 2-2, so is the Protoss. It's a good time to go now. Lilbo already taking a 4th base. And I think at this stage of the game, if you held as well as Lilbo has this game, you see units lost is fairly equal. You should almost always hit the timing. Even if the Terran is well camped, he's like behind bunkers and sensor tower, he has turrets and all that, you can always go around, find a good space. And that's what Lilbo's trying right now. He's played with very minimal vision this entire game. And he's looking to get a good engagement here. Cannot wait too much. Now he sees the Vikings. He knows that his Colossus, as time passes by, they're going to be worse and worse. See, this is a very difficult space to attack into, because there's the sensor tower there. The Terran is going to be waiting here, and he wants the units to funnel into this small corner to kill him. So now Marine Lord even goes up the ramp. Really, really hard for Lilbo to get a good engagement, but he's buying himself some good time. Nice Storm will go down here, and in the meantime, we had a big part of Marine Lord's army here, which was counter-attacking Terrans. They love to do this, just to force you to attack into them and get a good engagement. But at this point, Lilbo, he didn't rush in there, he didn't go up the ramp, he didn't lose everything. He's just going to leave some Zealots into that 3rd base to wreck it. And Marine Lord dropping the 3rd base now, trying to get some damage there done as well. Lilbo is actually just going to pull back, and he's made a lot of Stalkers. This is really going to help against the Vikings and those Medivac drops as well. He's barely not getting the 1 over here, but he can just remake the Nexus here, and he still has his very, very strong army. This is actually a lot of Colossus, 7 in total. 8's 1 away. And you know, when you have this many Colossus getting that many Stalkers, he's going to be very good. Instead of being Zealot heavy, you go Colossus plus Stalker heavy, you're going to be able to really cover your Colossus from these Viking shots. And that's exactly what Lilbo is trying to do here. In the meantime, he's still upgrading on the 1 Forge. Would have definitely have been better to add at least 1 more. You see Marine Lord feeling confident. Somehow, at least he wants to fight. Not sure why. He's not even maxed out. He doesn't have that many Medivacs. You see his composition is not great, and I think Lilbo is going to realize that and possibly attack now. In the meantime, retaking 2 bases. Surprised he didn't retake this one. And you see, upgrade-wise, it's still very even. We have 1 more upgrade for Lilbo, who's still upgrading on just a single forge. Marine Lord, he knows he's not maxed out. He's very afraid of that Protoss army, so he even cut upgrades now. So at this point, you're usually going to be equal on upgrades, sometimes a little bit ahead. Now he sees the Crow Ghost and good reflex pulling back instantly. And now you see he's trying, he has 2 observers with his army, which is a must, by the way. You need to have 1 or 2. He spread out his army as well as possible, blinked the stalkers back so the zealots could be in front. Didn't send the zealots too far in front. You see, he pulled them back for some time. And the stalkers, you see, they killed all the Vikings instantly here. And Marinelord knows he doesn't have enough, so Lilbo is going to take the win. That was a very well conducted standard Protoss versus Terran with a Templar opener into Colossus. If you struggle versus Terran, you should definitely try out this style and try to perfect it as much as possible. That was very, very solid play, and it's a lot of it is in the details. Like, you need to be very solid about it. Like leaving a Templar in the main, letting it charge up on energy, get a lot of energy, ready to feed back and all that. That was some of the very important things that Lilbo did, that if you don't do and you get dropped, you're gonna lose the game right there and then. So all the details in this game were important, and I tried to mention as many of them as possible. I hope this helped you. Give me some feedback and let me know what you think.